and our nation. 29 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour this morning. 29 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour. Those of us on the radio had the great sounds of Dietrich Haddon, and the song is called Without You. I remember when Dietrich had his listening party, came over to Pop's Diner. This was sometime last year. Yeah, I think it was. It had to be. And sung, we'll play that song there, Without You. Without You. And of course, we understand what that is. 29 minutes past 8 o'clock hour. We're on Facebook Live this morning. Also, let's see if we're on YouTube as well. Yeah, we're on both. We'll look at that. We're on the radio, WAJA 102.5 FM, and also we're on television on Wncr-Tv 21.1 over the air, also on Suddenlink Communications on channel 113. Thank you for tuning in this morning as well. Lots happening in our community, a lot's happening in our state, a lot's happening in our country, and even a lot's happening in the world with the things going on, from planes going down to strikes going on for Israel striking Iran's nuclear and military sites. It says that Iran has launched over 100 drones towards Israel, which were intercepted. Of course, as President Trump warns that Iran to agree to nuclear deal or face even more brutal attacks. Yeah, that's where we are now. In light of some additional news in North Carolina is getting a $4.7 billion investment, I do believe, with the new airplane company coming to Greensboro, North Carolina. So that is happening as well, and creating job opportunities and increasing North Carolina's taxable land and all of that good stuff. Oh, let me share the Facebook Live video this morning because we are streaming on Facebook. Let's say happy Friday. All right. Okay. So we got that there. So happy Friday to you folk. I tell you, this time just waits for nobody too. Friday the 13th. How about that? Not that it has any significant meaning. It's just Friday the 13th. Okay. So anyway, that's what's happening in North Carolina as it relates to the new the new, where I get Jim from? The new airplane construction facility there. Let me see if I can find a story on that, because I remember. Let me just say NC gets new plane place or something. So I can remember what the name of it was. Jet Zero. There it is. Jet Zero. So it says Jet Zero announced plans on Thursday to build its first manufacturing plant for the next generation passenger jet in central North Carolina. With the project, if successful, would create more than 14,000 jobs there in a decade. The California-based startup intends to build a factory in Greensboro Airport, investing $4.7 billion of planned hiring from 2027 to 2036. Will be the largest job commitment in North Carolina's history, according to Governor Josh Stein. The company previously identified Greensboro as one of the three finalists for the factory to build its fixed wings. Also has all wings, blended wings, Z4 aircraft, which Jet Zero says will be up to 50% more fuel efficient than traditional tubes and wing airliners. Jet Zero said it already has raised about $300 million towards the investment in the Z4 project, including U.S. Air Force grant to build and fly a demonstrator model by 2027. United Airlines, Alaska Airlines are project investors and have made conditional purchase agreements for their fleet. The company says Jet Zero aims for planes to go into service in the early 2030s with the goal of completing 20 planes per month at full production. So, Stein On the other hand, with Stein, on hand with Jet Zero, rather, executives and other officials, the former announcement that Piedmont Triad International Airport in Greensboro cited North Carolina's robust aerospace industry and the first man-powered flight at Kitty Hawk's by the Wright brothers in 1903. North Carolina is a perfect location, Stein said. North Carolina was first in flight. We're also the future of flight. The jobs and the minimum average salary of will be more than $89,000, according to the State Department of Commerce. So that's some pretty good stuff. Hey, caller, good morning on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bronson.
Good morning.
I see that Trump lost his rights to send illegal immigrants for ICE back to their own country. Our Governor Newsom out there in California, he laid the law last night. Everything he said about Donald Trump was so true, and I was glad to see that someone stood up to him like they should. And then how they arrested the senator who went out to ask the question how ICE and the FBI just attacked him, even though he told them that he was a senator. You know, what Donald Trump is doing, I don't understand how he's getting away with it. Even with the birthday celebration tomorrow, who is going to put a burden? Elon Musk come in and talk about saving money, but yet and still they let him flamboyantly celebrate his birthday with military armory. I just don't understand it. And people don't need to stop protesting. Now, he got up until 12 o'clock today to appeal this decision that the judge made. However, I don't think they have that much time, and they will not. But it's sad the way he is treating those immigrants over in California. They just sweeping folks up, leaving children behind. It's heartbreaking. It really is. Donald Trump need an island and then be in control of that island as a dictator wherever. But he don't need to be here in the United States. You know, I wish somebody would come in and do him the way that he's treating some of the things that he's doing here in our country. I really do. But I'm so glad Gary Newsom, he just put it out there yesterday. And can you tell me what restaurant came in where Hardee's used to be on Raleigh Boulevard?
It's a burger place, all I can tell you. It isn't like a franchise, like somebody created a burger place, but I don't even know the name of it right now. But it was good to see cars utilizing that space, so it didn't stay empty long.
No, I saw somebody. I thought they was either cleaning it or, getting ready to open something new right after Hardee's closed. But I was told that they had opened a restaurant there. I haven't been down that way
it's something burgers.
In a while. Okay. But I was so happy to see that, they did win their case as far as those immigrants. And the sad thing about it, who's going to go out there in the field and pick strawberries, cabbage, all types of vegetables other than the immigrants? That's it. And then he come back after his demand and say, oh, I'm going to do another, what you call those things, executive order so that they can work. Oh, you can't talk out of both sides of your mouth after the farmers got on about their crops being out in the fields, just going to the bad. But all I can say is this isn't the end, but I can't see how Elon Musk talking about saving money, and then they come around and let him have a birthday celebration of over $17 million. That is truly ridiculous. Thank you.
Thank you. So I was looking at that. Here it says, here we go. In just a few days, the nation's capital will host the largest military parade in decades, filled with thousands of marching soldiers Rows of tanks and parachute jumps and flyovers. The event on Saturday marks the Army's 250th anniversary, which happens to fall on President Donald Trump's 79th birthday, as well as Flag Day. The Army has been preparing for the celebration for over a year, but the idea of a parade came into the picture more recently. Although Trump's birthday is not officially linked to the festival, a large-scale military parade has been the president's wish since the first term. We will celebrate in a spectacular military parade in Washington, D.C. like no other, Trump said in the video posted on Instagram earlier this month. Trump is expected to observe the day's events from the sidelines, but at one point, the president is scheduled to possibly receive a folded American flag. Such a move would be unusual, given its tradition of presenting to families of fallen at the military funerals. So the master parade and festivals are expected to cost between $25 million and $45 million, according to the Army spokesperson Heather J. Hagan. Part of a healthy bill could include millions just to repair D.C. streets, since tanks and other heavy armored vehicles tend to damage roads. So, yeah, that's a great deal of money when you think about the needs all across this country, and particularly here in North Carolina. Well, shoot, probably just there in Washington, D.C., and Virginia and Maryland area, where that type of money could go versus having a military parade. So, yeah, that's interesting. Let's see here. I want to say good morning to the following people. Thank you for tuning in, too. That's Gwendolyn Swain, Gloria Brake, Alfreda Perkins, Vernice Harris, Deborah Gunter, Candy Staten, Evangelist Noreen Flowers, also Allison Williams, Eki, Susan Vick, Irma Maxwell, and Gwendolyn Johnson. Good morning to all of you. Thank you so much. And all those others who are watching via television, like Alexander Knight. Hey, caller, good morning.
Mr. Bronson, the airplane place may be coming to this area, but I tell you, they falling out the sky like I don't know what. You see that one yesterday that fell out the sky?
They said it didn't get up to about 600 feet, though. So I wonder what was going on with it.
Well, according to some of the spectators, people who have knowledge of flying, they said the wing flaps did not go down, nor did the landing gears go up. And both plays a significant part in when an airplane is trying to go up. And then they said the way the front of the airplane, it was tilted up, and it shouldn't have been. So they're thinking it was mechanical, but it was ironic that one survivor survived it. Mm-hmm. He walked out of it like nothing in the world had happened. And I said, Lord, he was on his side. Lord knows he was on his side. But, and then it was a JetBlue. I forgot what happened with the JetBlue. But something went on with that. But they are just falling out the sky this year. I don't think I want to go on a plane. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Lord knows my time, but it's just too much going on this year. Mm-hmm. I mean, every week, so one of them is falling out the sky or something is going on. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that looks like that JetBlue aircraft just veered off the runway after landing at Boston Logan Airport. And so it says the ground stop was in place at Boston Logan International Airport on Thursday afternoon after a plane was off the runway. Around 11:55, JetBlue Airways Flight 312 skidded into the grass while turning off the runway after landing, according to a statement from the FAA. A ground stop was immediately issued for all the departing aircraft at the airport. Emergency crews were there on the scene. At least one person was seen being assisted off the plane, while others walked down the steps to the tarmac. No injuries were reported, according to Massachusetts State Police, and the passengers were taken by bus to the terminal after the incident, the FAA said. So they had an issue navigating that particular piece of aircraft as well. You know, one of the craziest feelings is getting on a plane and it's up. We got a little delay, a little mechanical issue, but the guys will be right here to fix it, and we'll be on our way momentarily. Oh, we got it. They said this other thing again. Like, well, at some point, maybe we should just get off this plane. So that'd be interesting. Then it get hot on the plane while they're doing it. Just be a crazy little feeling, too. So yeah, but they do make news when those events happen with the planes, and of course, it's always horrible when so many people lose their life at one time. That plane, the other plane that went down, thing was headed to London. But they are certainly fewer aircraft incidents than other vehicle or travel mode of transportation incidents that happen than aircraft. So, but we do see a great frequency of them for sure, and it only leads to what in the world is going on. Of course, we thank Ms. Davis for giving us an update on what has been released as it relates to the London aircraft, in which it led to the lone survivor there. Again, I did hear bits and pieces that it got it to about 600 feet, and so I said, well, that wasn't too far. And then now hearing that the landing gear was out, it just was because I guess it made contact with another building or structure that caused it, because the tower that the television station antenna is on is at 500 feet in the air, and so that's interesting to say the least. Good morning also to Betty Jenkins, Reginald Manning, and Andre Smiley, Jacqueline Leonard Randolph, as well as William Manley. Thank you for tuning in. What is this? Donald Trump has been allowed to commit all of these negative and inhumane acts against American citizens, and lawmakers stood by and did nothing. So much more damage will he be? How much more damage will he be allowed to get away with? So, it said it's called Fun Money after passing the Doge cuts. So, I just wonder the Court of Appeals, who issued a temporary stay in the president's case as it relates to sending folk down to or over to California. Oftentimes, you'll see a court say, "Yep, he's blocked." The next court say, "Oh, we're going to unblock him." But the federal courts of appeal on Thursday delayed an order requiring the Trump administration to return. Delayed order requiring the Trump administration to return control to California National Guard to Governor Newsom, delaying the administration a temporary reprieve that would have been a major reverse of its policy on the protests of Los Angeles. Earlier Thursday, a federal judge in California issued a temporary restraining order that would have blocked Trump's deployment of California National Guard troops during the protests of immigration raids in L.A. and return control to California National Guard to Governor Newsom. So, so this is the latest. This happened this story was at 7 a.m. this morning. So a federal court of appeals on Thursday delayed the order requiring the Trump administration to return control to California's National Guard to Governor Newsom. So just as fast as Donald Trump is blocked, he is unblocked. He has the ultimate get out of jail free card that I've ever seen by the courts. And the courts are really interesting to me, to say the least. It has been a ping pong of this and a ping pong of that. And eventually, I do think what that will do is cause a radical destabilization of how governance is happening in America. And eventually, if the pattern continues, there will be those judges who have remorse when they too will be at the hands of unwanted behavior by the executive office. And so and that day is, if the trends continue, that day is coming. That day is coming for sure. Did you see where Newsom got caught lying? I mean, Newsom lying, Trump lying, everybody lying. I mean, that's nothing new with any of us. No, I did not see where Newsom is lying. Had seen that at all. I, for the most part, stay out of my listening ear to Trump-related issues. I just, what I was at last night was a meeting at Southeast Rocky Mountain. Not one time did a national issue come up in that meeting. It was very much about the communities, Redgate and Arlington Avenue, and the interactions that fellow citizens are having with neighbors, and how to deal with that, and maybe even suspected drug activity happening in the community that hopefully will be addressed as well. And the conversation about the recreation of a neighborhood watch is what came out of the meeting on yesterday as well. And one thing that Lieutenant Walker, who was in the meeting giving some police stats to the residents in the Southeast Rocky Mount community there at Truth Tabernacle Church at, I think that's 704 Arlington. But anyway, was giving the criminal stats of that area. And so, of course, I asked the question. So I said, well, is this area, riddled with crime? Is it a high crime area? He said, absolutely not. And so there were those in the audience who agreed with that. Oftentimes there's misinformation that continues to perpetuate our community via social media and other places, and it's just not what people make it to be. And we thank William Manley, who I saw him share some videos yesterday of some decommission of some other structures, including, which I wasn't aware of. Of course, I don't ride by the old Fountain Correctional, and so to see the delimitation of that location as well. I don't know what they're paving way for there in Edgecombe County, but I know that building had some asbestos and some things of that nature. So, of course, hopefully they'll be able to do the other remediation that's required there. But making way for whatever will go over there at the old Fountain Correctional facility. That property at one time at least was owned by the county. I'm not sure if it still is or not. But again, there's so much construction and things that are going on. I was talking to someone on the Housing Authority Board, I think it was yesterday, and was talking about some number of things that they're looking at doing as well to continue with housing in the community, and really doing some stuff that would be transformational. So that is good as well. And so what else happened at the, one of the themes of the meeting, the Southeast Rocky Mountain Neighborhood Association, which Tamisha Patterson is the president of that organization, it was the residents there feeling as though, well, one, it was brought to the attention of the community people that were there yesterday that the city of Rocky Mount is embarking upon a assessment or a study to deal with the conditions of housing and in particularly just in a couple of named neighborhoods throughout the city to identify potential blight, and then giving a pathway for the redevelopment commission to try to work with getting an area certified so that it can begin work of restoring blighted communities. And so in hearing that, residents was like, well, is there going to be some results from this work? Because obviously they say, hey, I've heard study after study, I've heard planning after planning, and there's nothing that ever changes. And so their concerns was, we've heard it all before. We've heard the same song, and nothing ever happens. And in fact, it continues to get worse. And I think, yeah, I get it. It does seem as though there's nothing changing in our community, but the reality is, I guess the change is so minimum that people really don't realize it. But again, you look at the what Aqua Court now looks like, what the apartments there on Vance and Vance and Sutton Road now looks like, with the individual going in and rehabbing those facilities. And what was also great was the conversation about Dollar General that was built there. Of course, no one there, I'm going to say no one, but a majority of the residents at the time did not want a Dollar General on Cokie Road. And ultimately it ended up coming there. But there was a conversation about Dollar General. So when I heard that, of course, that piqued my attention too. So I said, I got a question. You said da. And so one of the residents there was saying, listen, we need a grocery store. And so a good grocery store, because fresh fruits and wasn't available. So I said, well, I thought the Dollar General was adding this magnificent concept of fresh fruits and meats and things you'll be able to get. And so they said, well, you go there and they're not fresh. They are some spoilage and things that going on. And so it was my ask of the city. I said, well, I know y'all sold them that land to build that thing there. Maybe could the city have some conversation about they're not holding to their commitment as to what they promised that they were going to do. And I get it. I say maybe because of location, but at the end of the day, I believe that no matter what the location is in Rocky Mount, every area of Rocky Mount should be treated the same. It should not be because you're living in a economically disadvantaged or struggling community, or the next come up. I'll say you're living in the next come up. That one should be treated differently. That was one of the things that we saw many years ago with the food lines. That the food lines were not all closing at the same time, and so me and Nehemiah talked to the management there and the regional director, whoever it was, and we told them if they all gonna close at 9 or they all gonna close at 10, but it ain't gonna be no disparity between your groups of stores. And there were a number of people who said it couldn't be done, it won't get done. Good luck with that. And within a 2-week period of time, they were able to change the hours of their Food Line store there on Fairview Road for the benefit of those who need that extra hour. That extra hour obviously made a difference in Nash County, and I'm sure it makes a difference in Edgecombe County as well. But I believe that people should not accept the idea that based on your zip code or based on where you live, that you should be treated any different than anybody else. It is the idea that one should demand and require the same level of respect as any other person, whether they're living in Cary, North Carolina, or they're living in the lowest of the lowest and wherever that is. And so I won't even name a place, but should be treated with dignity, fairness. One other thing, and thinking about that, is the Motel 6 people there was receiving a notice that they had to get out by 5 o'clock the other day by orders of the Rocky Mount Fire Marshal. So obviously there were some issues there. Another conversation did come up in the meeting too was slumlords and the houses that are owned by Farouk Muhammad, and the conversations that I think I've been hearing about that individual for years. And it is seemingly that code enforcement, I guess that's what I'm looking for. I'm about to say something else. I'll say this, that code enforcement is not and has not been doing what it needs to do as it relates to these particular structures that are inhabited by individuals. And at some point, folk have to roll up their sleeves, and folks, I mean the government, has to roll up its sleeve and require Mr. Muhammad to do what he needs to do to his structures. He either fix them or dispose of them. One or the other should be the top priority with the consolidated housing or homes that he has in our community. And things have been going on too long. And so at what point will, and again, I get people say, well, if you stop him, then where are those people going to stay? I think we're smart enough to figure that out. I think we're smart enough to figure out what will happen when you do what you're supposed to do. And I always hear that when you do what you're supposed to do, everything else will work out anyway. And I'm just crazy enough to believe that too. And so as you believe that there will be some shifting of people, you already make the preparation for potential housing to be available. Hey, caller, good morning.
Mr. Johnson, I was going to ask the question the other day after the
thank you.
City Council meeting. All the properties that they are doing eminent domain, are they black-owned properties?
I don't know. I hadn't looked at it from that perspective, but it's possible. I have no earthly idea.
You know, I hate to bring race into any type of action, but it appears to me that they go out after black-owned properties opposing white-owned.
I don't put this
Because I
graphic
know
up
a
while you
lot.
talk, real quick, okay? I can still hear you telling to you. I was gonna put a graphic up. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Okay. It just appears to me that they go after black-owned properties, and I'm not saying this to be prejudiced of anything, but I know of a lot of buildings that's owned by whites that they don't even touch. And like you said, that Muhammad. And who is in charge of code enforcement? Who is the supervisor down there or the director?
Say the last part again.
Who's the director or the supervisor of code enforcement?
I don't know.
Huh?
I said I don't know the answer to that question.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I think Mr. Daniels need to look at some serious conversations with whomever runs that department, because they truly do not do what they're supposed to do. It is no way our city should look the way it does, with some structures, some debris, and other unsightly things in yards and everything. And I know people like myself is having some projects done that may be looking a little tacky at times, but year after year after year, it makes no sense. There's a house on Raleigh Boulevard. Furniture been out sitting out there in that front yard for I don't know how long. How in the heck can you pick up trash over here every Tuesday? You don't see that mess. People ain't got to call it in. And the other thing they need to change, if you don't live in a structure, they will not come by and pick up roadside trash or whatever you put out there. If you're paying taxes on the doggone house, why not? You send them a tax bill every year. They need to change that stipulation. So people can go in, whether they're, and do some repairs or whatever and put trash out, and no one is living there. They're trying to do what they can do, but just my cousin was here just a couple of weeks ago, and they sent him a letter for $2,000 to clean up, cut down trees and stuff around the house. And just because they don't live in the house, guess what? They said they won't go pick it up. Come on, that man came all the way over from Saigon or someplace to clean up, and he had to delay his trip back. They need to change it. If he's paying his taxes on that house, if people paying taxes, they need to pick it up. Thank you.
Thank you. And so I don't know if you have to be living in the house to rent the residential dumpster for $35 or whatever dollars it is. But that is something that the city offers as well. Those dumps you get for a day, the little white little trailer things, in which you can dispose of trash. Again, let me see if it's even on the city website about the dumpster rental thing. Do. For the City of Rocky Mount, I should have went to their website. Let me go to City of Rocky Mount website, RockyMountNC.gov, and let's just do a search for dumpster. Probably yard weight. No, we'll just say dumpster. Typical dumpster pad. Nope, this is gonna give me some. That's gonna give me. Try this. Oh, it's 9 o'clock. It's time for me to go. Okay. I didn't realize it was 9 o'clock. I thought I had it set that it wouldn't change over here. Temporary chillers. So, yeah, I don't see it. But anyway, that is one option that the city has in renting that. Now, I will say that saying, hey, because one pays taxes, that the city should clean it up. They have that refuge fee that others are paying. And so, again, in the spirit of fairness, one would have to be a refuge customer. Hey, caller.
Oh, Mr. Bronson, I'm not trying to bring family business to your station, but I was out there when we was trying to get the gentleman to pick up the limbs, and there weren't that much branches. And the person that drove the truck said, well, my supervisor said I can pick up one load, but I can't come back and get the rest. What kind of mess is that?
Yeah, that was crazy. Now, yard waste is kind of different compared to cleaning at a house.
It was roadside pickup that come every Tuesday, like the trash people come over here.
Okay.
He said that my supervisor said for me to get one load, but not to come back and get the rest. I don't get what is going on.
Yeah, they should have got all of that if it was limbs and those type of things. Absolutely.
And then they sent him a letter saying they're going to charge him about $2,000 and they have to go clean it up. So are they trying to make money from citizens?
Oh, sure. I'm sure they are if that's the case. Yes, and I'm assuming, have they not called and spoke with the supervisor?
I beg your pardon?
Have they called and not spoke with that supervisor that authorized the one-time pickup and not another future pickup?
Now that I don't know, because he left the next day because he's overseas someplace, you know, and you know how that is. But the man came down to cut the bushes back, he and his brother, and they put it on the side of the road. They were still putting more on the side of the road. He said, pick up one load, but don't pick up no more. And I was sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the conversation.
Yeah, that's
so I'm trying
crazy.
to figure out if you can pick up one load, why can't you come back and pick up all of it?
All
even
of
if
it
it's
should
the
have been.
next week.
Oh yeah, all of it. All of it. And it would have been would they pick up that one load? Did it end up filling up the truck or something?
I have no idea. I
Okay.
just left because sometimes you just get fed up with these decisions people make, which don't make any sense. I really, truly do. And they were still pulling stuff to the yard, so I mean to the side of the road. But I just don't know. But I thought that was very awful. I really do.
Indeed. Appreciate you.
Okay.
I just realized I got to go. So I will thank you so much for sitting in Wncr-Tv Now. We talked about things impacting our city, our state, and our nation. And so we did all of that today, as we often do, for sure. Don't forget, Pop's Diner today is open from 11 to 6 at 132 South Church Street, downtown Rocky Mount. We have flounder, tilapia, and something. I forgot what the other fish is. We got 3 choices of fish today. Catfish. There it is. Catfish as well. So we have that today. And we'll be adding Philly cheesesteaks to our menu as well. And may even add them as early as today if we can get them in the system for ringing up properly. That'll be available at Pop's Diner. And then on Sunday will be our Soul Food Sunday, the Father's Day edition, where we'll also be having some chitlins available for purchase as well. We'll be sure to have those in place on Sunday. Of course, our regular turkey wings that people enjoy and whatever else we'll have there. We'll make a flyer for it. But we'll see you when we see you right here on WNCR TV and out in the community.